Hello. The suit is on fire. Hello, everyone. So good to be back in my hometown. I actually spent a lot of time growing up about 15-20 minutes from here. Do we have any people from Brisbane in here? Yeah, Toombul Shopping Centre. Do we remember Toombul? So it's sadly no longer around, but I used to spend a lot of time there killing time after I caught the bus back from school. And one of my favourite things to do, I kid you not, was to go into the flight centre at Toombul, and I would get the brochures, because I'm a real life brochure and books kind of girl. You can keep your digital stuff. And I would take them home and I would cut them up and make this beautiful collage, not Pinterest, actual scissors, glue, cardboard, old school way. And I would make this beautiful big collage of all the places that I wanted to go to in the world, all the places I dreamed of going to. That's what you guys get to do. You allow people to realise their dreams. That's how amazing your job is. And I know my 12-year-old self would be absolutely tickle pink if I told her that 20 years down the track, I would be in a room full of people in the travel industry. So can you guys give yourself a big round of applause for what you do? So amazing. And I guess you could say it's in my blood, because my beautiful mother was one of the OG Kentucky travellers. I grew up hearing about all the stories, how they used to have to put their tents together. We didn't stay in hotels, Nicole, we had to put our tents up. I grew up, the one story that she used to say on repeat over and over again was when they were in Berlin, and mum has never been a big drinker, but on Kentucky, that's what you do. And everyone else had a big night and they decided to rip their clothes off, and this was when you could get near the wall, and try to climb up the wall in Berlin. And next minute, there is sirens going, there are dogs barking, the lights are on them, and she always laughs about how funny that time was. And I mean, I've got so many stories like that. And when I was preparing for today, I thought, hang on, Mum's told me that she was on a Kentucky brochure. Surely I can find it for today. And, oh, is my clicker going to work? There we go. Look at this. 1975. She's on a camel. Look at that for marketing. Haven't we come a long way? This is Mum in 1975. So when I was making those collages, I was 12 years old. So I actually want to take you back to that year. So we've gone back to 1975. Now we're going to fast forward to the year. Now, where are my millennials? Where are my millennials? My 40, yeah? Okay, you're going to really appreciate this. We're going to go back to the year where hypercolour shirts were a thing. The coolest thing to do on a Friday night was go to all-you-can-eat Sizzler. And the closest thing that we had to artificial intelligence was this. Doesn't that bring back memories? And then get off the internet. I need to make a call. I am, of course, talking about 1994. And this is me and Mum on the evening of my primary school graduation. And I was facing the prospect of going to high school with absolutely zero of my friends. And it didn't matter what way Mum tried to sell it to me, I didn't want a bar of it. In my mind, all my friends that were going to the Catholic schools, because they all were, except me, they were going here, where nothing bad happens. And I, going to the local state school, was going to the real life set of this movie. That's where I thought I was going. And so I sulked in my bedroom all holidays long. And it wasn't until we got a visit from some family friends that started to change the way I thought about this. Now, this is Neva and Jerry. Don't mind the knife, he's just cut engagement cake or something. Mum actually went on that Kentucky tour with Neva. And he's like, Nicole, what's wrong? I was like, oh, I've got to go to this state school, I'm the only one. And he's like, isn't that fantastic? I thought, are you nuts? No, it's not. And he said, I was the only one that went to my high school and everyone else went to all the private schools. Do you know how good it is to go to a school when nobody knows you? I thought, okay, keep talking. And he really sold me on the benefits of co-education, boys and girls. And he told me a lot of stories that day. Jerry was a great storyteller. I mean, to my 12-year-old self, both of these guys were the epitome of cool. Dutch, had tattoos, they had accents, they didn't have kids, so they travelled a lot, so they had a lot of stories. So I really respected what he said. And after a few stories, realising that maybe this is not the worst thing in the world, and maybe my mum doesn't hate me, I was actually really excited to go to Wavell State High School. In 1995, this was the 1994 before was the primary school graduation beforehand, but I went with a pep in my step on grade 1 because, day 1, not grade 1, of what Jerry told me. Now here's what I want you to hear. Mum and Jerry both telling me the same thing, but I didn't hear it until it came out of Jerry's mouth. It didn't land for me until Jerry wrapped up the same message in his story. And that is what I mean when I say your stories are your superpowers. When you learn to tell your stories in the way that only you can, your voice has the power to move mountains, start movements. Your voice and your story, people are actually waiting for. They need to hear it come out of your mouth. They want to hear your experience. They want to hear that you know the best local trattoria outside of Rome and that you have been there before. They want to hear about your experience in the Greek islands because they respect your voice and your opinions. When we keep our stories to ourselves, when we put ourselves on mute, we're doing a disservice to everyone else around us. And we need our stories now more than ever. We are in the era of AI, whether you like it or not. I want to introduce you to 2 travel influencers, Mia and Anna Zello. Both lines of code. They're not real. They have about 600,000 followers between them. They go viral, but they're not real. And psychologists talk about something called the uncanny valley effect, when we see something that's almost human, but there's something just a little bit off, when they're too perfect. And the good news about AI, and I'm going to celebrate the good news here, is that consumers generally, 90% of consumers don't trust AI. They don't trust AI. So I want you to really understand that just because they might be getting attention from the algorithm, it doesn't mean authority. Attention doesn't equal authority. Where there is no trust, there's no authority. So I want us to look at AI as this beautiful opportunity to own our voices, own our stories, say goodbye to perfection, because whether we like it or not, this is not coming, this is here. And our feeds are filling up with it, marketing streams are filling up with it. So what stands out? What do you think stands out when our feeds are full of this? Genuine content, genuine connection, a real human voice. So to me, the era of AI is beautiful because it is an opportunity for us to finally embrace our imperfections, own our human voice the way that only we can. Now, I want you to know, when you put yourself out there, it's not showing off. It's showing up. Charlie said it before, visibility isn't vanity. It's responsibility. If you want to make a difference in the lives of other human beings, they need to know you exist. For people to listen to and take your ideas seriously, they need to know your name. If you want to go for a promotion, if you want to go for a collaboration, a partnership with someone, not going to happen if they don't know that you exist. And invisibility, so the opposite of being visible, that's expensive. We have this visibility gap here because being great, it's not enough anymore. Being exceptional, being number one in the world isn't enough if nobody can see it. There is a gap between capability and competence and recognition. And the only way people are going to get to know you and choose your ideas, choose you in a meeting, say yes to your next collaboration, is if you are out there. And I know a lot of people love to stay behind the scenes, they love to fly on the radar, and they call it being humble. That's bullshit. It's hiding. And you can't help anyone, and you can't make a difference, and you can't live to your fullest potential if you're staying hidden. So here's the visibility cost. What are we saying no to when we stay under the radar, when we stay hidden in the corner, when nobody can know our name? Promotions, pay rises, partnerships, collaborations, speaking requests, podcast invites. If you want to be a trailblazer in your industry, if you want to change the way things are done, people need to know who you are. Now, let's talk, considering this is an International Women's Day event, about women, capability, and competence. Are women less capable and competent? Whoa, come on, I should hear a big resounding no. I'm going to ask that question again. Are women less capable and competent? No, of course we're not, but we underestimate it. We hide, we wait. We wait until somebody gives us permission. We wait until we have more qualifications. Meanwhile, 26-year-old Chad has done a free online coaching course, updated his LinkedIn bio to expert, launched a podcast and a best-selling book, all from the convenience of his ice bath. And us chicks over here are waiting, collecting qualifications like handbags, waiting until we feel ready. Put your hands in the air if you've missed out on an opportunity because you're too scared to put yourself forward for it. I have too, don't worry, we've all been there. We've all been there. There was a really big study with over 60,000 leaders, and across the board, women were ranked higher in leadership skills. And I know that there are other things at play, systemic things that we can't change overnight. I get that, but visibility is the lever that you actually have control over. They're not going to choose you if you don't choose yourself first.